The spaceport was a chaotic symphony of clanking machinery, buzzing holoads, and the occasional roar of engines as ships took off into the star-strewn sky. Humans called it the Crossroads, a hub for travelers from every corner of the galaxy. But for Jax, a down-on-his-luck mechanic, it was just another place to scrape by. His ship, the Rust Bucket, had been grounded for weeks, and his credits were running dangerously low. He sat on a bench, staring at the last few digital coins on his wristcom, wondering if he should spend them on a meal or save them for a part he needed to fix his ship. That's when he saw her. She was a Zorathian, a species known for their shimmering, iridescent skin and delicate, antenna-like tendrils that framed their faces. But this girl looked different. Her tendrils were dull, her skin lacked its usual luster, and her clothes were tattered. She stood near a ticket kiosk, her slender fingers hovering over the screen, hesitating. Jax could see the frustration in her eyes as she stepped back, shoulders slumping. He didn't think twice. Jax stood up, walked over, and tapped his wristcom against the kiosk. "One ticket to wherever she's going," he said, nodding toward the girl. The Zorathian's eyes widened, her irises shifting from a muted gray to a soft, glowing blue. You would do this for me?" she asked, her voice melodic but tinged with disbelief. Jax shrugged, trying to play it cool. "Yeah, well, you look like you needed it more than I do. Besides, I've got a soft spot for strays." She tilted her head, studying him. "You are kind. But you should not have done this. I cannot repay you." "Don't worry about it," Jax said, waving her off. "Just pay it forward or something." The girl hesitated, then reached into her tattered cloak and pulled out a small, intricately carved pendant. "Take this," she said, pressing it into his hand. "It is all I have to offer." Jax looked at the pendant. It was beautiful, but he doubted it was worth much. Still, he pocketed it with a grin. "Thanks. Safe travels." As she boarded the shuttle, Jax couldn't shake the feeling that he'd just made a mistake. He was now completely broke, and his ship was still grounded. But as he walked back to the Rust Bucket, he felt a strange sense of satisfaction. At least he'd done one good thing today. Days turned into weeks, and Jax managed to scrape together enough credits to fix his ship. He was about to leave the Crossroads when a fleet of sleek, silver ships descended on the spaceport. They were unlike anything he'd ever seen, gleaming, advanced, and radiating power. The entire port went silent as the ships landed, and a delegation of Zorathians emerged, their skin shimmering like living rainbows. At the front of the group was the girl he'd helped. But she was no longer the ragged, downtrodden figure he'd met. She was radiant, her tendrils glowing with an otherworldly light, and her eyes sparkled with authority. She wore a flowing gown made of what looked like woven starlight, and the crowd parted as she walked straight toward Jax. "Jax of Earth," she said, her voice carrying across the spaceport. "You showed me kindness when I was at my lowest. You gave me your last credits, not knowing who I was. I am Zara, heir to the Zorathian Empire." Jax's jaw dropped. "Wait, what?" Zara smiled, her tendrils curling in amusement. "I was testing the galaxy, traveling incognito to see how others would treat one they believed to be poor and powerless. You were the only one who showed me true kindness." Jax scratched the back of his neck, feeling incredibly out of place. Well, I guess I'm glad I didn't screw that up." The crowd erupted in murmurs, and Jax could feel the weight of their stares. Zara stepped closer, her gaze softening. "You have proven that humanity is worthy of respect and alliance. As a token of my gratitude, I offer you a place in my court, and the resources to repair and upgrade your ship." Jax blinked. "Upgrade my ship?" Zara nodded. "The Rust Bucket will be a relic of the past. you will have a vessel worthy of a hero. Jax couldn't believe what he was hearing. He'd gone from being a broke mechanic to this. But as he looked at Zara, he realized something. I appreciate the offer, he said slowly. But I'm not really a court kind of guy. I'm more of a wanderer. Zara's tendrils twitched in surprise, but then she smiled. I understand. Then let me offer you something else. A place among the stars, as an ambassador of goodwill. You will travel the galaxy, helping those in need, and showing the universe the best of humanity. Jax grinned. Now that sounds like my kind of job. Years later, Jax's ship, no longer the Rust Bucket but the Starlight Wanderer, became a legend. Stories spread of the human who traveled the galaxy, helping the downtrodden and forging alliances between species. And though he never sought fame or fortune, Jax knew he'd made a difference. As for Zara, she never forgot the human who had shown her kindness. Under her rule, the Zorathian Empire became a beacon of hope and unity, and humanity found a powerful ally in the stars. And all of it started with a simple act of kindness, and a ticket bought with the last few credits a man had to his name.